joins us now. Thank you.
Oh,
hello.
Welcome. Nice to have you here.
You have always had a passion for true crime.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I think, you know, true crime is one of the biggest genres of entertainment, if we're going to call it that. I mean, in an ideal world, I wouldn't be here talking to you and having this conversation because we wouldn't be doing horrible things to each other. But I've watched true crime since I was a kid with my mum. I mean, she was on the forensic files in the 90s and, you know, things like that. And it's been something that I've definitely continued into my adult life, and now my hobby has become my career.
Well, listen, I love a bit of Miss Marple, but then you've got...
Poirot.
But Poirot, always my favourite. But then you've got the dark web, and this is really uncharted territory, and there is so much within there that we don't know about. But one of these things is this sort of hit list, sort of gun for hire type thing.
Yeah.
So just explain how you came across that in the first place.
Well, my director, Josh, he received an email that had reams and reams of names of potential victims from these hitman for hire sites. There was a hack that was done in 2016, I think it was, and there were over 200 people on these lists. And when I first saw it, when they showed it to me, when this film was in its inception, you know, it's California, it's Bermuda, it's Mumbai, and then it's Tottenham Court Road, and then it's New Cross, and then it's almost down the road from me. And I thought, this is something that, yes, is an outrageous and incredible story, but also it could be you and it could be someone that you know who are on these lists.
Explain the dark web for anyone that doesn't understand.
All right, so the dark web is very much like any other browser that you would use. Spoiler alert, it actually isn't illegal to access the Tor browser, which is what you do. So, you know, you've got your Firefox or your Internet Explorer or your Chrome's, Safari. Tor browser is another way to access the internet, but it is uncharted. It's the free web as opposed to the regulated one. And whilst you can use your Facebooks, your social medias, you can check your email on, you can order a takeaway on the free web. It also has dark websites, and some of these dark websites are hitmen for hire sites.
And so, when you access that, as you say, it's not illegal, but you are then throwing yourself into a potentially really rather dangerous world.
Yeah, and, you know, I think that the sort of people who are using those sorts of sites, the marketplaces where you can get your paraphernalia, your weapons, your body parts, I mean, the type of person who is using that, you would think it's someone in a basement with 17 screens or someone who's adept at the internet, but it could be your neighbour, it could be someone in your house. This is the thing, these things, they are a lot closer than we thought
and
they were.
you came across real in-depth information why people were hiring these hitmen, and there was all sorts of different reasons there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most outrageous reasons that I saw was a 17-year-old in America who wanted a hit put out on his pregnant lover. There were scorned lovers, there were disgruntled co-workers, there were angry neighbours, and there were partners who had had enough.
Oh, my God.
What about the case of Gabe Scott?
I mean, Gabe is just a wonderful person. I think that his story, what happened to him, finding his name on the hit list, and, you know, someone had paid thousands of pounds to have him killed, and...
It was his wife.
Yeah, well,
Christy Felkins, mother of their 2 children.
And they wanted it done in any way possible. I mean, the hitman kept making excuses and they kept paying more and more Bitcoin. And he has taken it in his stride. I mean, he runs, like, Ironman competitions and he's an ultramarathoner and he's got a kayak he's building in his garden because I think that he knows that his life was in danger. Because my question is, even if he's still alive now and he's fine, somebody wanted...
Well, he's only alive now because his wife is sort of on trial and she's probably going to prison will go to prison for this. The fact that she was actually paying a scammer. So it wasn't a real hitman that she paid for.
And you know, well, I don't want to spoil it because it's a really crazy story, but, you know, they were like, oh, the hitman got caught in traffic, can we have some more Bitcoin for another team? And she's like, go on. And it's like, oh, actually, let's get a better team tomorrow, go on. And
well, it's the only time when you actually are on the scammer's side in this,
you don't want people to get scammed, and then you think, oh, you know...
He's alive because of it.
And so that clip that we showed there, where actually you found out the name of somebody who owned one of these websites and you were considering getting in touch with them, I mean, you did go on to do that.
Yeah. I went to a public place with a little dongle and a laptop and, you know, I put a hit out on no one from nowhere and I double-checked and no one called no one lives in nowhere called nowhere, so it's fine. And I was like, I know who you are. I'm a journalist. I'm going to get you. And they replied, and I was like, sorry. Ooh.
Were you not a bit worried to do something like that?
You know, I feel like if you're going to do it properly, though.
But you've just said it out loud.
Well, you're going to watch it tonight on Channel 4 at 7 p.m.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So they live in this country, they're going to know it was you.
Oh, I don't think they live in this country. They would have found me already, Phil.
So what did they say when they came back to you?
They told me to get off of their page and stop message them immediately. And I thought, OK, but, you know, it's one of those things where I think, who is responsible here? Is it the person who's disgruntled and going on these websites, or is it the potential, you know, hitman who is encouraging and saying, yeah, they deserve it? Or, you know, what has somebody done to warrant something like this being put out on them? The questions are endless, and I think that's what I'm trying to find out in this double bill. That's what I'm trying to find out in this doc.
Do you know how successful these hits actually are? How many people are legitimately shot?
Well, it's impossible. We know that hitmen are real, don't we? Like, as in... But it's impossible to know how many of these sites exist on the dark web because they don't keep any tabs. It's impossible to know how many hits are successful because, I mean, you're not going to hear about them. And also the people who are using these sites, unless they make mistakes, they are anonymous. So ultimately, I'm just here to make you scared.
Are there police forces around the world who've set up their own sites in the hope that someone will go and hire a hitman and it will actually be the cops?
I don't know, but I hope so. I would hope so. I did actually speak to the crime agency. It didn't make it in the edit, but they said it's like mopping the ocean when it comes to the dark web, so...